Is Black Ops 6 worth it? Coming from someone who hasn't played a Black Ops since Black Ops 2, honestly, it's not worth spending $70 over. Especially your hard-earned dollars. I mean, I would rather make myself a closed circuit and shove my head in a microwave. However, if you enjoy the Black Ops franchise, and have played all the prior games up to this point and enjoyed those, for some reason, yeah, sure. It's a great COD game for you, but I'm going to make an objective review and the subjective review where I will give you the overall review of the game and my criteria for the game. They will be pretty starkly different reviews. Let's get right into the meat of it. If you love the tried and true COD formula, you most likely are going to buy and play this one like you have all the rest. It's exactly what you're expecting from a COD game. It's the same old formula time and time again. However, from my first impression as somebody who was on the fence to start with about it, I played it through Xbox Game Pass. For me, I could not rationalize spending $70 on something that's just available on Game Pass for $12 a month now. What the hell? They bumped it up? That's crazy, but I guess, like everything else, they can do that. Thank you, Netflix. Thank you, Hulu. Very nice of you. First thing I'd like to get into is with the new release of Omni movement mechanics. It was looking to be promising. However, after playing around with it myself and asking others for their takes, I have concluded that flopping around like a fish is not a game-breaking mechanic. While it adds some new depth to the gameplay, it is still the same old gameplay you see in every single COD game. However, in this COD, you get to run around and shoot guys while feeling like you just got out of a Diddy party with how slippery you are on the asphalt of an Afghan war zone. Most of the players I saw were either using it so much that they couldn't aim, or they just didn't use it at all. I personally didn't think it was a game-breaking mechanic, but it was super fluid and honestly worked well, so I will give it an objective 8 out of 10. It does create depth, but for my subjective score, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I never felt like it was going to be useful to do a barrel roll into somebody while they're loading me full of 5.56. Moving on to the multiplayer, I have very strong mixed feelings. The guns, they feel good. I personally used the Tonto 22 for the most of the time because I thought it was goofy. It's an automatic submachine gun that shoots 22s. As for the maps, they were less than ideal. Most of them felt like they were catering to the new Omni movement, or just straight up felt like I was trying to navigate through an anthill with the amount of ways there is to get in and out of any given room. With most maps feeling so big that you have to walk a mile to find someone just to get your head popped like a melon seeing the wrong end of a house around. With matchmaking feeling very inconsistent on top of that, I mean, it's a coin flip on whether I am inviting a paraplegic toddler or the 3-viewer Andy on Twitch who's streamed every COD game since they came out.
Oh, I'm trying to get affiliate in my bio.
Overall, I have to give it a 7 out of 10 on the objective score. The multiplayer is exactly what you're expecting from any COD game. However, for my subjective score, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. The new Omni movement's nice, but it's not enough to keep my interest for very long. I'll keep my opinion on the campaign brief. With 3/4 of the experience being worthwhile, I'm not gonna throw any footage of the campaign, not to spoil anyone. However, it is overall one of the better COD campaigns. It's exactly what you're expecting out of a COD campaign, but there are sections of it that is a snail's crawl that makes you lose your stride and feel like sandpaper is on your brain. As for the score I'm going to give it, an 8 out of 10 on the objective, and a 7 out of 10 on the subjective. The zombies mode of Black Ops 6 is a pretty good experience, with most of it feeling, overall, very nice. However, as someone who hasn't played a zombies game since Black Ops 2, what the hell is this thing? Personally, I'm not a fan of the arcade-like zombies experience, as my predisposition is towards the most gritty and grimy of zombies experiences. However, for someone who is a longtime fan, this is just a step up from the previous titles. The default map for zombies did feel very good and fluid. I didn't feel like I was getting lost, and I almost killed myself on cars several times. So, for an objective score, the zombies gets a 9 out of 10. However, subjectively, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It's not the zombie experience that my nostalgia-pilled brain is here to fathom. And why do zombies have health bars above their head? Whose idea on the design team was that? As for my overall final thoughts, I think if you have Game Pass, it's worth sinking a couple hours into, but I wouldn't spend $70 on it. If you've enjoyed the last few years of Black Ops, the new Omni movement may be enough to freshen up the experience for you, but for me, I couldn't give less of a shit. With the formula remaining almost the exact same for the last 14 years, it just wasn't for me. And I doubt they will ever stop beating that horse in the future since it doesn't stop spitting out money. As for my final objective score, it's going to be an overall 8 out of 10. It's exactly what you're expecting from a COD game. Nothing more, nothing less. For my subjective score, it's gonna be a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't pay $70 to get beat by Neckbeards and The Terminator. But that's my opinion. I personally think my $70 would be better spent on 280 McNuggets. I'm not kidding. The 40 count is $10.99.